Monumen Nasional kita kenal sebagai ikon daerah khusus Ibu Kota Jakarta. Monas berdiri di tengah ruang terbuka hijau dengan aneka tanaman, juga sarana olahraga yang siap mengadu sportivitas kita. Dan ada pula pusat kuliner dengan hidangan khasnya. Sekarang saatnya kita menuju puncak Monas. Untuk itu, kita harus memiliki tiket terlebih dahulu. Wah, luar biasa. Dari puncak Monas, kita menyaksikan seolah Jakarta adalah kota yang tidak pernah tidur. Gemerlap lampu dan indahnya kota Jakarta semakin tampak di malam hari. Kalian harus menyaksikan sendiri keindahan dari puncak Monas. Kunjungi Monas dan cintailah Jakarta.
Speak Indonesian?
Very loudly. You speak Bahasa Indonesia to us, we will understand, but I don't think we'll be able to communicate. Thank you very much, appreciate that, and apologies for not speaking Bahasa Indonesia. So shall I start by thanking you so very, very much for receiving UNICEF. It's a real pleasure and a real honor for us. I know you have an extremely busy schedule. And I was thinking we would have to stand outside together with everybody else in 2 minutes of your time. So I'm really, really happy about the fact that we had an opportunity to meet very briefly at the Independence Day. And you very kindly invited UNICEF to ask for an audience. So we did ask for an audience. We wanted to introduce ourselves and the work we do and see where there could be increasing synergies between us. But at the same time, before we actually received a response from you, we had also a very important consultant come and join us, and I wanted to take 2 minutes to introduce the team, and then we came back and said, can we please have the opportunity of meeting with you now, while we've got also a consultant with us here who we feel it's very, very important that gets an opportunity to meet with you in your office. So we pushed a little bit and we got the meeting today, and we were really, really happy about that. So if I may very quickly introduce my team, and I'm going to be unconventional and start with that end rather than this end. So myself, I'm Gubernur, and I'm the representative of UNICEF. I've been for 2 years here now in Indonesia. I was previously in UNICEF headquarters in New York. And Lauren is the deputy representative and in charge of programs, and if you wish, she will give a very brief update about what we actually do in Indonesia. Next to her is Petra, and Petra is our chief of social policy, very important issues here in Indonesia. Next to her is Paul, and Paul is our chief of child survival and development, health, nutrition, WASH, and the person is also a medical doctor by training. And I'm giving a little bit more detail on him because next to him you have our consultant Robert Yates from the Chatham House think tank in London, who I know you have met in the past, and he's our consultant on universal health coverage. Very important issue, and that's the reason he's with us only for a couple of days. We have, as UNICEF, brought him to meet with us and to be here because we are helping prepare a big high-level meeting consultation in Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, to which the Indonesian government has been invited by the Malaysian government with the support of UNICEF. It's 21 countries in the region that we'll be meeting and discussing very important issues on child rights. Particular focus is universal health coverage and issues around violence against children and social protection. And the Indonesian government will have an important role there. We are hoping that the new Minister of Bapinas, Pabamban, who we also had the opportunity to meet with very recently, will be participating, and we're also hoping that there are other people from the government of Indonesia that will participate in that meeting. So, Bapak, I will be quiet in a moment because I didn't come to listen to myself, but I wanted to...
We invite you because we want to listen.
But we also
I'm a talkative person, but today I want to hear.
So we actually want to listen to you too, particularly me, but we have two objectives with our meeting, and I'll be very honest with you, as I always am. The first objective is that we would like to take the time and opportunity, because we have our consultant, Robert Yates, with us only for a short period of time, to talk about the universal health coverage issues.
Oh, you already introduced yourself already? Yes. Dr. Kusmedi is the Chief of Health Department. And I don't know how to say your department. Kembali? Masyarakat bukan ya? Community involvement. And also family planning program. Ibu dari? Oh, sosial ya? Social department. Ini dari apa bilang?
Gubernur Affairs.
My name is Lisa from Jakarta Smart City Unit under Informatic and Public Relations Department. Yes.
So very happy and so pleased that you also have with you a big team. Maybe with your agreement, I would ask actually, I was saying there's two things we want to get out of this meeting from our point of view, and then you have to tell us what you want to get out of the meeting, and one is to focus on universal health coverage. The other one is actually to give a little bit of an understanding of what UNICEF does in support of government, and how we work in our country program, which started this year, new country program for 5 years, which is all in support of government and child rights. And with your agreement, I would ask our Deputy Representative, Ibu Loren, to give a very brief, she's very good at speaking succinctly, I speak much longer, so that's why I'd like her to give just a 2 or 3 minute update on what we do in our country program, what our focus is, and then to come back to the issues around universal health care. Would that be all right with you, or you'd like to see the way they will do it? Yeah?
Silakan. Yes. Saya coba. I'm sorry, my bahasa is just as bad as Camilla's.
No, it's better.
I want to give you a little pictures.
You did the presentation? No.
Manual. We are also proactive people, not as powerful as you, but we want to see change for children. And the change we want to see is exactly this picture. We want to help the government of Indonesia to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals for children. I'm happy to send you the electronic version if you're interested. We've done some analysis of the government survey, so Indonesian data, which tells us what the key problems children are facing are. So we know more than a third are stunted, means they don't get enough food to eat, they're not growing up. I'm sorry, we didn't bring enough. Maaf. Please forgive us. We need to bring more, spend more money on printing. Soft copy. Yes, much better for the environment. Okay.
The first infographic we actually sent a soft copy when we requested the meeting, so that one is with you already in soft copy. We'll send it again.
Satulagi will send it. So this is our vision. As we first outlined the problems for children, so stunting, we're very worried about children in schools. We know that half of them are bullied. That means they experience physical violence, which makes learning less optimal. They're unable to learn what they need, and you suffer in the quality education of the students that come. We know that too many children are drinking water that's not clean. That makes them sick. Also, they can't learn and become productive Indonesian citizens. Just some of the problems that we saw. And our vision is that we help the government of Indonesia to make these problems go away by 2030. And in the next 5 years, we want to work in the most difficult, hard to reach places with a focus on equity. So it means the most vulnerable children are supported. And how do we do that? Mostly we work on policies. We have very small money, no money. The government always jokes with us that we come with no money, but we come with ideas. Exactly. And our ideas are to translate your national policies, your thoughts, your policies into budgets and plans at local level, so we can see action for children in remote areas, here in urban slums in Jakarta. We have an immunization program that Paul can talk about. So trying to reach these pockets of very, very vulnerable children with the support they need. And what you can get from us is accurate data for your planning, your budgeting. You can get an awareness of who is suffering where, which children need your help the most, and some ideas on what you can do about it. Pilot programs that really show results. So we have been able to reduce, together with the government, for example, in NTT, stunting by 10 to 30% in the poorest areas. We have been able to reduce violence in some places, to stop the number of children in prison, reduced by 70% because of a social welfare approach. Just some ideas. And we try to outline in this infographic alignment not only to the global goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, but the Nawacita. So in summary, if you want to learn more exactly in details, this one, I'm sorry, it's in English for now, it's very new, is just some examples of our programs and the results we've achieved, and how we have managed to double financing for healthcare in some places. And this one is our disparity approach. Not only do we take the statistics for children nationally, show you where those statistics are the worst. Like, for example, 37% stunting nationally, but up to 40 or 50% in places like Papua or NTT. We have 5 field offices across the country, from the east to the west, because we believe we have to work where the most children are and where the most rural children are. So we have Surabaya, Aceh, Makassar, Papua, Kupang, and 2 small offices in Manokwari and Ambon. And those offices are about helping the government to reach out as far as possible. I stop there.
And just to add to that, I believe that we are very blessed to work in Indonesia. We have a very good relationship with the government. I think that the work we do together is based on trust, which is hugely important, and one in which we are requested to bring the knowledge and the experience we have also from other parts of the world, and also to help bring the good experiences from inside of Indonesia to outside. So we see our role in the South-South collaboration, and in actually also highlighting the hugely important things that are being done in Indonesia, which I think in many ways can be a good model for other parts of the world as well. And I think on universal health coverage, that's one of the areas where government can be very proud of the initiative. So that's a little bit about us. We could speak for hours and hours about what we do. We're hoping that at the end of this meeting you're going to ask us to come back another day on specific areas which are of particular interest to you. But how would you like to proceed, Governor?
Thank you. I think why I have this meeting together with our biggest team, we believe Jakarta is the biggest city. That's why they need a press, a community for sharing and sharing, to know each other. Now we start to developing, we call it LPETRA. This is an integrated public space friendly for the kids. Actually, it's friendly from the pregnant women until to the elders. And now we try every weekend, we use a school bus, we bring the elders to come to City Hall, the National Monument, and we also try to provide many double-decker bus, a free double-decker bus, for the poor people could have a recreation. It's like the National Monument. After we clean the vendor street, we make the resettlement, and the weekend already reached 150,000 people gathering. And God, this is amazing. We still want to develop in our city until to the harbor. This museum, So we want to do so people could, it's very important for us. For we know who they are.
Yeah.
Like the poverty line. I have a little bit different to use this poverty line. Indonesian government use poverty line is 2,500 calorie per day. When you convert to the money, only 524,000 rupiah. You use United Standard, United Nations Standard, $2 daily. I don't know, usually $2. But I think that's not enough too, because the basic need for the single in Jakarta already reached 2.5 million. If $2, only 1 million. And that's why we have another poverty line. So how many people live under poverty line? 17% in Jakarta after we use the basic. They want to use this as to increase the salary. I said the biggest issue is not to keep increase the salary. Your company will bankrupt. I ask all of you want your salary 5 million rupiah, but you expend 4.9 million, no use. It's better your salary only 3.5 million, but you just spend 2.5 million for your basic need. We have a 9 million food, we call it a sembako, how to say that? 9 main consumption. Rice, sugar, cooking oil, rice, sugar, cooking oil, flour, meat, egg, chicken. What is two? It's a little funny. Chili and onion. Because Indonesian people could not cook without this. That's why this item always give us inflation. Now we already control the rice. In the last 5 years, very good. The rice price. Within 2 months, we want to install a machine to packaging, buy directly from the factory for sure. For the difficulty, you have to work with the fishery minister and also Minister of Agriculture, like import corn. If corn price increase, like today, corn price increase 20%. That means after 2 months, the egg and chicken will increase. Big inflation. That's why we try to develop a hypermarket. We have a Pasar Jaya, 153 stores. We also have a Dharma Jaya, 100% owned by city administration. It's a company to in charge in egg, chicken. We have a slaughterhouse. We will work very close with the Australian to supply the cheapest beef. We also have a food station, jaminan. We installed the biggest machine for polishing rice-to-rice milling machine. So we could packaging, we could produce even a premium rice, now a little bit lower. We sell it very low price, 20% penetration, but it's really helpful. And we also provide a very lowest bus. You look at our Transjakarta. Transjakarta today not only walk in the corridor, they also walk in all the room. And this year we force the people, even you out, you have to tap. I want to know what's your destination. So I could provide a better bus, how many bus, even from Tangerang, surrounding area, get into Jakarta only 3,500 with subsidy, 3.2 trillion PSO, public service obligation. And how about the school? We start from number 1. We try. We try our best, no poverty. When we get in, World Bank report to us 40% for the kid don't go to the school. That's why we introduced a Kartu Jakarta Pintar, a smart card. Today, already above 700,000 children we provide for them, but could not draw the money. This is a debit card. They could buy the food in California, probably okay. Or the food still okay. Now, when I want to sell the lowest meat, how to do it? They have to use this card. So the trader could not buy. One kid, we just introduced this last month, one kid, 1 kg beef and 1 chicken. How much? This is frozen, only 39,000 rupiah per kg. The chicken only 10,000. We want to improve their nutrition. Next year, every month they could buy one. Like Australia, the meat consumption, 14 kg. Indonesia, 2 kg. Jakarta's better 5, but that's not the poor people. Because too many Japanese restaurants, everybody. And now maybe I consume 30 kg, 50 kg a year. But the poor people could not. That's why we fight them like this. This is first. This year also we introduced, if they could get into the national university, we provide them 18 million rupiah a year. Next year we will make another evaluation, maybe in Jakarta it's not enough. But for the Central Java, for the, like Sumatra, Sulawesi, that's enough. And that's why we will improve. We already made an agreement with the National University and Institute and College to work to help them. What more? We also make the biggest resettlement to the low-cost apartment. Because they live in the riverbank, too many tuberculosis, too many disease, so we moved them. Many social problems, what we forced them to move. Our low-cost apartment now is a 36 meters square. And automatically, they have a facility for a library, a small clinic, and 5,000 citizens. We have one doctor, one midwife to take care. We also developing now is every district one hospital. Why we need a small hospital? Because the poor people, if too far from their house, this is a very high cost for people to accompany their family. That's why we want everybody just near in the one district. They could cook by themselves in their house to send. How about this Erpetra? Our target is, now is every district. We already have almost 63 this year. This year we want to, under construction, 123 Erpetra. What is Erpetra? This is for sharing and caring price. We put a management. We put an IT, we have to report, we know. And this is a social mapping. We ask the university to work with us, talk with the community, what they want. But most of them have a library, small clinic, including a lactation and nursing for nursing baby. I asked them to put the aircon, so the baby have a time to sleep with the poor people. They could use this. And the nursing 1 hour, 2 hours. And we also put district manager. I turned all a sub-district head, we call Lura. I said, you are an estate manager and like a parent. You have to now recognize who need our help. You know, the poor people. And this year we also turn for disability. You know, the Jakarta pedestrian, very poor. We want to improve to 2,600 kilometers. Crazy. Jakarta is really crazy. I don't know what they're doing. Half 10 years, 20 years, I don't know what they're doing. Now we want to make it very flat. This very friendly for disability. We also purchased, this year we come, maybe the end of this year, in late January, 152 bus could adjust the suspension for the wheelchair to get through. Free of charge, this bus. We just purchased. You will see our bus is better and better. We really use a top brand bus. No unknown brand. I don't want to take any risk. And we also, if you look at the road, we also use scraping. We don't want to keep the thick of the asphalt. scrape first, 30 centimeters, so we could. For me, the important is how they get the education, health. How about the right of the kid? Now we already introduced a system. When the kid was born in a hospital, automatically they get a certificate of birth. And automatically they're covered by the BPJS. That's our experience. When they go home, 2 weeks again come back, they have to pay. That's the problem. And how about the universal coverage? I have this experience when I was a region mayor in Belitung, East Belitung. For me, it's very easy to distinguish who have the right to use this packet. It's very difficult to force the people to register, except they get sick. That's why now I already make a system in our hospital. If they get into the hospital, they just say, I'm not a rich person. If they want to use a sub-class room, then many automatically we pay for you, you insure. That's the way we make Jakarta become the universal coverage. The problem is came out, some private hospitals don't want to receive this. Accident, they suddenly find the nearest, like Publikasi. Now some accident like that, we have to pay. But we try to move them to our hospital. Because we could not force the private hospital. But we already, they could not asking the money first if an accident. So I already told them, if you keep doing like this, you will bankrupt. Because we keep doing the best hospital. We pay the doctor, the paramedics, the nurse better than the private sector now. That's why some of them already moved. I believe health program now is better, including the identity card, like the certificate of birth. This is their right. If you don't give them certificate of birth, they could sell it and we don't know. This is very important. So we force them. And we also force them when you live in domicile with the identity address the same. We keep doing this, use mobile to create a new identity. Or we really make the biggest resettlement to move them. My target is at least 20,000 units a year to move them. So I have a better housing. You look at our river now, it's better, normalization, more clean, we move the people. When they move, they have to pay how much? Yeah, 5,000 to 15,000 daily. Is it expensive? No, this is a responsible. Because when you show your identity card living in our low-cost apartment, you free of charge use all the bus in the city. We subsidy. And also all your kids get all scholarship. High school almost 800,000 rupiah monthly. Intermediate 600,000. Depend on you go to the, if you national school, cheaper. If you go to private school, give you bigger. The elementary, 200,000. And I supply for them school bus, free of charge. It's a really incubator to help them have a better living. That's why the last year Human Development Index, Jakarta already reached 78.99. So I just need to make it become 101, become 780. I hope could reach 80. Now, there are living opportunity, life opportunity. And already 79 years old in the South Jakarta, some in Central Jakarta. Why they made the effort is 78? Because in the Thousand Islands it's 76. That's why now, Thousand Island, I also provide the free transportation. If the Thousand Island people get into the city, they use the bus free of charge. This October, I will launch from the college student, fishery department student. I will provide them a capital to develop a fishery nursery in the Thousand Island, do a business with us. How about the sharing? 80% for the new car for the student. Government only take 20%. This October, I hope this program will increase their living, including the vendor street. I forced the vendor street to register with our card. Why? Because I want to know their cash flow. I provide 1 trillion rupees to provide a very low interest. But I just quote 30% because I don't know who they are. I don't have a record for the cash flow. So I forced them. You have to use the bank. But the problem came out. The bank already closed when they still doing the business. Now I'm asking for the central bank to give me an ADC, electronic cash, to take the money from them at night. Ask the people, you could pay them, and tomorrow they will make a record in the bank. So I will know the cash flow. I think good has zero hunger. We also developing social life. I hope this year we have a 92 hectare in Cianjur, Tangerang. I call it not a all parents' house. I call this is a resort. It's a villa. I want the poor people could live there. They could have agriculture, fishery, 92 hectare. So, yeah, farming, from the poor people could stay there. I guarantee them. Because people ask me, why you have a college, how dare you want to provide free of food? I know the experience. You know the mosque in Istiqlal, when the fasting month, they only provide 3,000 people for open for the fasting. And they also have a driver, professional. That means the poor people are not too many here. Some come from the suburb area, came here. They want to get the money. Now a little bit decrease the population of this, which is forcing them make an agreement. If you come back again and bring you to jail. No, we could not. If you come from another province, we send you back. If you come back again and bring you to jail. So they are afraid to sign. And this is the way. I think education quality, we need to have a problem with our teacher, but not. So I want to change. I think I need 1 and 2 years to make it become a business unit like hospital. You know, the first time our hospital and a community clinic Puskesmas, you know why I have the biggest problem in Indonesia? We have to use a bureaucrat. After they turn become the LUD, business unit, they could recruit the doctor and nurse from the private sector and could pay them according to the ability to pay. The same idea I want to implement to the school education. Now you could. We have many teachers. Oversupply the teacher, but not yet enough for some ability, like a physics, like a mind. Sometimes not enough. The quality is not good. So what they're doing now, the parents gather the money together, they pay from the private course teacher to give a lesson to the kid. How about the bureaucrat? They just take the big money and never teach. And the holiday, they don't want to improve themselves, just holiday too, like the kid. Now we improve. Now my idea is want to put this like a business unit, like a hospital. So the school could recruit every good teacher from the private sector according to the hours you give a lesson. I think if we could do this, I believe education will improve. But now for me is how to save the people. Nobody left drop out from the school because they're poor. That's very important. So that we keep register, give them KJP, Kartu Jakarta Pintar. This year we already used a KJMU, Kartu Jakarta Mahasiswa. Utama ya? Unggulan, yeah. We also introduced. So I hope why? Hope. The important for the kid is the hope. If you think you could not go to the university because your parents is poor, you will drop from the high school. That's why we said, don't worry. If your parents are poor, your family is, relatives is poor, you still have another parents, government. All you need is to study, I will provide to you. I hope this year, already almost 700 could receive from the national university. I hope next year, they hope, because they now have a guarantee, they will have courage to test this. Gender equality, I don't know. But for me, everybody is same. For me, I don't like to provide a special bus. I don't like that, actually. All we need is everybody. This is justice, not a charity. So everybody, whoever you are, like you came in here. If somebody robbed you and you find out security, that's a charity. Because the security fought you and helped you. What we need is everybody came here, safe, peace, nobody robbed. That's a justice. For me, that's more important. Everybody the same. For me. That's why I don't like to talk about gender. Everybody the same. Clean water, we have a program. Because these two companies want to buy back. This is Suharto regime, they give to his son and his friend and they sell it to the international company. They don't want to supply the water. So I want to buy back. Then they use a citizen laws. I couldn't buy. And now we propose a new program. You don't need to pay the money for supply the water to your house. You know, the poor people purchase the water, 25,000 to 50,000 per cubic. We sell for the poor only 1,050 rupiahs per cubic. And they sell it. They like make a Federal Street developer, rent the house in the river bank. No limit. Now I cut it. You could not get angry. I said, it's better pay us 10,000 rupiah. You don't need to pay for supplying the water. Before they need to pay 1 million, 2 million. The poor people could not. But another problem, the water supply is not enough. We have a 13-man river, only 3% wastewater coverage. So every household drop the wastewater to the river. And the cost to clean this river. Some said want to add another 10% from W. Now they're still doing the project. But for me, is how to clean this water. We need almost 8 years to make the whole city have a wastewater management. This city, when they developed first time, they never know, like in New York, they have a big tunnel under the city. Jakarta never had. Maybe I like make a joke. Our founding father go to Europe, go to the school to America, they just see the park and the statue. They never now have a, you know, they not yet have a Hollywood movie, have a big jaws on a big tunnel, we never watch that. That's a big problem. So we try green energy, yeah. I think now we already bring a many green building, already 85 million square, I don't know how much. They have international institution to make a question. We just developing a 7 towers for a low-cost apartment, totally clean building. Wastewater, everything, safe energy. And this year we already launched a program, all the light in the city we turn to LED. We could save half, from 400 watt become 200, but 3 times lighter. If you look at some street now is more light. We need 2 years to turn all the city. We can use a smart light. Now it could very easy to find out how many lights is turn on or off. Many, we could see it. Yeah, economic growth, I believe we have a one-stop service. We like a very generous broker. You just come to our all district and sub-district office. We help you. We want to make a big frog for ease of doing business. We hope that we become this 121 jump to 50 or 30. And this is how to do business. We also provide a co-working place. I think this November or December, I think we will open. It's co-working place for design, like a bag, shoe, fashion, in this one, all the machine, cutting machine, design. So people just come, it's like go to the fitness center. They pay daily. They could use all the equipment to develop this. Industry innovation, that's not at all. We want to develop it like this co-working place. We have the 3D. We have a program at the gym. There's a small business. All we need is we ask them to become a customer of the bank. So we know the cash flow, we could provide the money. The central government want to provide many low interest. Could not. We don't know who they are. We just keep them always, they could always back them. Like on land, tree, peace and justice. I think all we did is how to administer this justice. Like a community, how to turn this slum area become a good area. I want to provide them 2 times, 1.5 or under 2 times. You have 100 square meter land. You give to me, I develop an apartment, I give you 200 meter square. So I could turn, but half become a park. That's the idea. But now I need to provide many low-cost apartments first, and we move them, we need to try. Some contractors have a program with us. And this is the idea to give them. And also, next year, you just pay us 300,000 rupiah. You donate to us 300,000 rupiah. If your property under 2 billion, you get a certificate right of your property. 300,000 rupiah. So everybody will own their property with the certificate. So I could control the city. Okay. Every piece of land, they own the certificate. How about if the value above 2 billion, they have to pay the tax 5%. They couldn't pay. They could make the agreement, they don't pay, until if they sell it, they have to pay. If they don't sell it, just because they inherited from their parent, they don't need to pay, just like this. I believe if we could launch this, people welfare will increase, everybody got a certificate. That's the idea. I think we should cerita lagi. RW itu apa ya RW? We have a sub-district. After sub-district, we have a RW. We have a 3,000 location. I hope the slum area, I want to purchase the land area to develop this RW. So everybody gather together. We know each other. So what's the problem? So we could help. So the sub-district had to become a parent. We have a 267 sub-district in Honolulu. We like an estate manager, so that's why I need all land has a certificate, and they know who they are. If we know who they are, we could provide what they need. The most important for me in the city is first the education, health care program. I believe Jakarta is a universal coverage the first time.
Yes.
You just go to the hospital, go to the clinic hospital, we guarantee you. The third is
Can I just ask you, Governor, about the health reforms? Because when I was here before with WHO, you might remember that we were studying the KJS and we were extremely impressed with what you were doing, that you'd made it a universal entitlement, just like you were saying, that people could go to the Publikasi and automatically get health care, and that this very much struck us as the way to achieve universal health coverage. The previous government was only really giving the entitlement to people below the poverty line, but you recognise there were people just above the poverty line who still needed the protection. So I'm sort of intrigued as to how you're managing to, are you keeping that scheme going now? Because the national scheme is the problem. It's the problem. And so and when you and the previous Governor Jokowi really did these revolutionary new reforms, they were absolutely fabulous. And we were very, very supportive of this, and I remember you saying to us that you would double the budget, that you double the public spending to be able to afford it, which is exactly what Indonesia as a whole country needs. Now, it's interesting that the JKM, the national scheme, they haven't doubled the budget. You know, the financing, looking objectively, the financing to the health sector as the whole country is too low. So I'm just wondering how you're finding running your Jakarta scheme on the money that central government is giving you. Are you finding it is enough money that the government is giving you?
The standard, if you use a calculation, is not enough. It's not enough from the central government.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is the BPJS could not explain to, because before they have a bad experience using PT Askes. When they used Askes scheme before, I still was a region. Askes scheme only 6,000 rupiah monthly paid under Askes scheme. And they still took a profit. That's why when they provide this JKN, the parliament asked them, how much you want? How about I make it 3 times, 18,000? They said, still not enough. Why you 6,000 enough? Now 3 times not enough. Because that time too many manipulation.
Let me show you the scraps. We have a presentation. We've got this, these scraps, if I can pass those around to you and your colleagues, because we're very concerned. In fact, we want to really support your efforts. That you can see that from this graph, I think this graph really sums up universal health coverage, because you can see at the bottom you have all these countries plotted their public health spending as a share of GDP against this out-of-pocket spending. And of course, what you're very keen to do is to reduce the burden of people having to pay out of their own pockets. And you can see that Indonesia is up at a level really with some of these poorer countries that is spending quite a low amount, whereas countries like Malaysia, China, Thailand are now spending a lot more. Now, as I say, what you did in Jakarta was to really double the spending and take it to those higher levels. So we were wondering how we can work with you and the Ministry of Health to persuade the Ministry of Finance that for the health sector, not only in Jakarta, but the whole country, needs this big increase in financing. And that would enable the whole country to, in effect, do what you did when you issued everyone who wanted one, a KJS, so that President Jokowi could issue everyone who wanted one a KIS for the whole country. And I was just wondering, maybe even in the dialogues you have with the President, whether this may be something that the government as a whole is considering in the next 2 or 3 years, to have a big push on the health sector, just like you did when you were elected, sort of back in 2012.
I think the most important is the rich have to pay too. This is a cost subsidy. Now, for us, easy to distinguish it. You just go to the sub-class room. The middle class, the one use the sub-class room. 1 room, 10 bed.
Yes.
Now we improve, become 6 and 8 bed. Our new hospital will be 4 and cancer. If you cancer, go to the Province Cancer Hospital, 4 bed. Now the problem came out now. We have made a mistake 2 years ago when this first time announced. If they register to our clinical hospital, the BPJS said it's 14 days. If you pay as independent, it's not subsidy, I asked, 2 days. That's why many poor people, when they get into the hospital, they register as independent, not, and after that they could not pay. because they don't have the money to pay this monthly, and this become a bad debt. And when they want to turn to be the subsidy, the BPJS said, no, you have to pay your debt first. Wow, that's a problem. I already solved this problem last month. We make an agreement with the BPJS. Everybody, if they could not pay your health care premium, automatically I pay for them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Automatically they turn from the first class or second class become the third class.
Brilliant.
I just guarantee the third class. So we make another regulation. Even you have money to pay your premium for the third class, I don't care. If you choose a third class, I pay for you. It's better. I pay. Well, people make a protest for me since 2006 when I was the mayor. It's not fair. How about the medium enterprise? They could pay. I said, if you want to get seats, go to the third class room.
Yes.
I pay for you, not give you money. I help you to not let you decrease your capital.
Yes, exactly.
And there's a subsidy for you, but you have to get sick first. Who want to get sick? Please tell me. If I said everybody gets sick, I give the money, everybody will pretend want to sick. It's not. I just pay. And this is how we solve this problem.
And this is how we run our health services in Sweden and in UK, that it is publicly financed. And I think it's noticeable that maybe in Suharto years, that somehow Indonesia was moving in the American way of people paying themselves, and that's a disaster. The American health system. And so Indonesia was sleepwalking into an American-style health system. But what you and President Jokowi did was to move more towards a socialised health system like this.
Yeah.
But it does seem that still the Ministry of Finance is a bit reluctant to make that move.
I want to meet her. I will just arrange for a dinner with her. I want to
Show her the
I want to talk with her because since all finance minister never understand what.
Yes, you're right.
I was a parliament member. I said you could not. You could imagine poverty line, even use my standard. This is a basic income, basic need. How about if their spouse don't have a job? This money only for singles. How about if the children? How about they have the parent without the insurance? If they got sick, they could not. Even this item could not pay the premium for this health care. That's why this one already is 70%. So how many people? I said almost 50%. You have to cover almost 50%. But so we make an agreement with the BPJS. We don't pay 50%. If they got sick, already they just will pay this one. And after that, we keep paying. So they agree. We just last month, I became the first province to make agreement with BPJS about the system.
Excellent.
Just last month. So what we are doing now in Jakarta is become a showcase for this transform power. That's why I invite you to come. Please, you let us know what we have to do to make the same level, same quality with your country. That's the life, what my target is. What the best practice in your country, I want to copy. I already said we could not copy American.
Sure.
We are socialists. We're not a capitalist.
Well, if we can
Our country is a socialist country. Pancasila is a socialist country, not a capitalist. That's why we could not copy. But some ministers graduate from America. They think about something, it look like that. But I said, no. Well, Pancasila is a socialist. If you look at this God first and the justice, this is socialist.
Yes.
If you look at the Muslim, they call it the hablum min Allah, hablum min anas. That means you have to have a good relation with God, good relation with the saint. If you talk about Christian, Jews or Catholic, you have to love your God with all your heart, your power, your everything, your strength, and love your neighbor like yourself. And these are Pancasila. These are the two. If you talk about 10 commandments, Which one is important? Two. Love your God with all your heart and love your neighbor. Or the God's 10 commandments, everything depend under these two. The same like Papanjasi. That's why my idea is like that. You have to serve the people like God served to us, everybody equal. And the second is you have to justice, not charity. Not charity. Our fifth Pancasila is a justice. So everybody have their right. My duty is how to administer this justice, to provide this justice. Yeah, and governor is how to administer this justice. Only that. How to do
And
this?
you can see how the whole team is smiling because the values are exactly the same values that are the
That's
whole
why we have
basis
to
for us
copy.
to be here.
When the
Yeah.
copy, like the Scandinavian country, that's where to copy. I know this in front by the theology of Calvinism. I learned why most of the country who influenced them, including, I believe, our founding father influenced in the Dutch, in the Netherlands, influenced by this theory, socialist concept, as it came out of Pancasila. Because they have Abraham Cooper become a prime minister and said if we could not take care of the poor and the social congress, we blaspheme the God's words. That's very important. I think this is very the same thing. Is a universal thing. Provide justice.
I think one thing we recognise that moving to a socialised health financing system is a very political process, because just like you're saying, you need to force the healthy wealthy to cross-subsidise the sick and the poor, and often they don't want to do that. So it's a big political problem. You see what President Obama's trying to do in the United States.
Yeah, I think Obama cares a little bit different.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
I think it's not good. I found some doctor from the United States at a symposium here. He made a joke like this. I think Obama should learn from you. There is a doctor told me, no, kidding, you're kidding.
Well, I think if Indonesia were to follow your example in Jakarta, the country would reach universal health coverage before the United States. I mean, I think you're setting the pace here by making it a universal entitlement, that you are very much moving towards a European-style system. So I suppose the big question is what do you think is the potential that your pioneering reforms could become a national policy, and that you would create, in effect, a sort of like we have in the UK, an NHS, except your NHS would be 6 times the size.
I think that's my duty. That's what Jokowi asked me to make Jakarta become a showcase
Yes.
Yeah.
for this healthcare program, including the e-budgeting.
Yes.
That's why how I use the budget. If they would want to have subsidy, I use many additional contribution for the developer company to develop the infrastructure.
Yes.
So I want to concentrate, use the money from the tax to pay back the salary for the bureaucrat and for the healthcare, education, transportation to the people.
If there's any way that we can help you in that process of showcasing what we're doing, then we have now the centre of Chatham House in London, you know, the think tank that's specialising in the political economy of universal health coverage reform. So we're very keen to give a platform to leaders like yourself. So
You just said
if
to us.
you fancy coming to London, I'll give you my card.
Yes, yes.
And so we're
Send to
with
us.
the...
I have to move another meeting,
Sorry.
sorry.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
I think we just send us, I took a telephone meeting today. You know,
Yes, I
if you have problem with them, tell me. If no problem, no. He's director of the hospital before.
Yes, yes.
Now we are saying, he's also secretary for the health group. Now he turned to the. Ini aku suruh tim aku pelajarin ya nanti. Kita satu pelajaran ini baru kita diskusi. I have internship student here.
Very important, and we should let you go. We should not overstay our visit, but we want to say thank you very much.
Welcome.
And you have really reinforced to us that we stand on the same value base when it comes to equity, equality, and also making sure that every child has a fair chance in life. So it.
Udah sampai mana yang sertifikat obat semua rumah sakit? Udah jalan belum? Yang cetak akta lahir? Udah semua kan? Ya, I want them. Everybody give birth certificate of birth came out.
So on these issues, we will also come back to you later on universal child grants, birth certificates for every child, anything you need from us as a team also here in
I think
Jakarta.
you know,
We're ready
better
to
than
support you.
me what we need.
So we'll be back in touch with
You
you.
just tell us. So
We'll be back in touch again.
what you want, you just give me yeah, just call me.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you.
I already put my number. I already put my number.
Have a-
Yes, if you could, and that would be really, really very helpful. Because there may be some
I
world
think
leaders
you
coming
know what's
through.
happening.
Yeah, that's great.
We can copy it up.
You should go to. Very good. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. That's marvelous. Thank you. Treasure that.
Yeah, you just let us know. Nanti kontak minta tukar telepon aja. Dan ada teleponnya. You don't know his phone number.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so very,
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you so much.
Ini kasih ke aja. Nanti kita terus. Ya,
Thank you so much.
kasih Ibu. Iya. Oh, mau foto. Ini take a picture, sorry.
Oh yes, yes, yes.
Because you wear all the batik.
Yeah, always.
This is a Jakarta batik. This is Jakarta design. Jakarta
Very
batik.
nice.
Yeah. We every Thursday use the Jakarta custom.
Oh,
Friday national.
oh, so that's what we should introduce.
We try to have like they live in a cost apartment. We try to teach them how to make batik. There are many government, NGO, foundation. You don't have, so we just come to our
We
local.
should do our shopping there. Exactly.
We
We should do we can shop there. Support it. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much again.
Yeah, yeah.